Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Chanakya. Today we will speak about America a little bit more, and America's spiritual heritage. In God we trust. Pride comes before a fall, and so on. Because America has prospered, and although America has only existed for a few hundred years, materially speaking, they have prospered and led the world more or less in a type of mechanical revolution, with the help of England, of course. But they've also led us in the very wrong direction, away from God. America in this day and age is practically godless, what to speak of In God We Trust. The government has nothing to do with religion any longer. Secular state, which is nonsense. In reality, the government should show that they have full faith in God, as they say, In God We Trust. In reality, they don't even mention. So it's a sad state of affairs. In reality, we should abandon all religions, not God. Why should we abandon God? The principles of religion are universal. They apply everywhere. And any good person, any pure, honest person knows the principles of religion innately. We know all these things, but the government, the leaders, should at least lead us in the right direction, not away from God. So America has become very, very proud of itself, of its money, of its US dollar, but that is all waning now. I've just recently seen a report about how the dollar is set to fall down terribly because of the debt overload. And the dollar, of course, is the basis of the world reserves. But that is rapidly disappearing. So the dollar is right on the brink of collapsing, one could say. So, in a way, that's a good development spiritually. Because unfortunately, many of us, or most of us, have to be really forced into surrender, into sublimation, because we're so proud of this body, so proud of our belongings, our possessions, our temporary possessions, which will not help us at the time of death. So, pride comes before a fall. Arrogance, what to speak of arrogance, is even worse than pride. So, in general, the American people, there are many good people, relatively speaking, as far as a flesh-eating savage can become good. So, the world basically knows America by Hollywood, by the images they project. I mean, America, go all over the world. I've been in all over the world, so many places, Africa. Everywhere you see food supply donated by the government of America. Sometimes you see the children wearing the sacks as t-shirts. But America has done so much charity work. So there is some heart there. But rather than grow closer to God, America has grown further away. So now, all the abundance and the wealth, which is such a point of pride in America, has left America. God has taken it away from America. Given it to whom? The communists. The people who don't believe in God at all, basically. So, as I said, sometimes God works in mysterious ways. We may think that this is a big problem, the looming crisis, but perhaps it would be better for us spiritually, which is the main point. We are here in this world to make spiritual advancement, not material advancement. So, perhaps this is what America needs, or the Western world needs. A good setback, so people will wake up and realize we do need God. We are not God. We are dying. We're getting old and we're dying. What profiteth a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? We just read about one big real estate tycoon who died and blah, blah, blah. Wasted his whole life piling up money for what? Gone in 1 second. Never to be seen again in that body that he left behind in any case. That person is now gone into some other body, which no one would ever recognize that it was the same person. If he's in a dog body, who's going to know that he was previously this huge, reputed man in the material world? That means nothing. So the main point of this whole material life, short life as it is to make spiritual advancement. Hopefully enough so that we don't have to ever even come back to this material world. So, in this material world, to go on to another point, there is so much ignorance in Kali Yuga. This is Kali Yuga, this present age we're living in. Pride and ignorance. In Kali Yuga, it is said in the scriptures, even a pauper is proud of his penny. So many unfortunate qualities happening in Kali Yuga. But most of these things are easy to understand. One great soul once said that knowledge does not begin from God. It begins from things we see around us every day. Understanding how the process, how God's government runs this material world, operates the material world. So any person with a little intelligence, people are fond of saying, oh yeah, my son is so intelligent, he's doing so well. He did this, he got these grades. That is not intelligence. Intelligence means you pass stool once and you realize, hey, something's wrong here. This is despicable. What am I doing in this hellish world? That's intelligence. To inquire, how did I ever get here? What's going on? Why was I born a human being and other living beings are standing in the cold winter eating basic food? and not complaining. Why all these varieties? And the answer is, of course, whatever we sow, so shall we reap. Karma, the law of God, action and reaction, which only operates within the material world. Because we've come to this material world to try to be God. Been reading recently about the bionic man, some man wasting his time trying to compete with God, making a bionic man, and it's still so far off the mark. God already made the perfect man. Why did people come here, leave God, suffer, and try to become famous for creating an electronic man? And then other fools will say, oh yes, he's such a great, intelligent scientist. But they never think about the intelligent scientist, God, the Superman, Chrishna, who created all these things, including our brains, our bodies, our hands, all this incredible, what to speak of the intricacy of karma, where we are under surveillance at every millisecond, because God has his agent right within us at all times, witnessing every thought and action that we're doing. And this ever so complex business of sorting out our karma, where we will take birth in the future, goes on. So when we look around us in this material world, we see some person is born crippled, blind, deaf. Some people are born with a golden spoon in their mouths. Prince George was just born with a golden spoon in his mouth. Why? And then people live their whole lives and don't even think about that? Or have some lame reasoning given by some bogus priest who knows nothing? He himself is a flesh-eating savage. How is he going to teach you anything? If a person can't control himself, how is he going to have the knowledge to speak on issues of God? This is the whole point about God. God says, I am the ability in man. There's no truth superior to me. There's only one object of worship, and that is the supreme intelligent, the supremely strong, the supremely wealthy, the supremely attractive and beautiful Lord God the Father. If some person is an extremely good musician, that is not his ability. God made that man, he made the brain, he made everything, and that is God's energy coming through that person. And that energy may lead to some fame and wealth. That is also the result of past pious activities in other lives. Just like a person who is born deaf or crippled or diseased from birth, that is a result of past impious activities. Because why? That witness in the heart, the region of the heart, doesn't mean if we take the heart out of the body, we take God out as well, or ourselves. No. It's in that region. The spirit soul is 1/10,000th size of the tip of a hair. Cannot see it, of course. But it's obviously there. We're conscious. And when that consciousness is gone, and the heat and energy is gone, then we say that person died. That means the soul is gone. It doesn't mean the soul died. So these are very complex issues about karma and on the differences that we find here in the material world. Some people are completely poverty-stricken. Those are the result of past impious activities, but that will all change. Because in some cases we're doing pious activities. In some cases we're doing impious activities, even inadvertently, unwillingly, bad habits. So we will get the results of whatever activities we perform. Whatever we sow, so shall we reap, and therefore the results are in all the variety we see around us. Those are all the living beings that happen to take birth on this planet at the same time that we did. So we should understand that there is laws that govern the universe. And it's happening all around us. We just have to open our eyes to see it. It's so important to use this human form of life to gain the knowledge we need to extricate ourselves from this material hell, this material prison house. We are in prison. So, whatever may happen in the world, whether America collapses, or Europe collapses, whatever may happen, we should be prepared. If we're prepared, we have no fear of the future. Our futures are bright. As police sometimes say, if you have nothing you've done wrong, what are you worried about if we have some surveillance on you? So as we say, that God and His government agencies have surveillance on us every second. And everything is remembered for millions of years. But we cannot remember, of course, our different bodies. But it's all gone into the Akashic records. So the best thing is to get a pardon and get out of this material world. Whatever is done in the past, we can't do anything about at this moment except surrender and say, right, now, from now on, my path will be clean and clear. And I'm going forward, and I will worship only the Supreme Person. Then our future will be very bright. And we can be excused for the past atrocities we may have committed. But go forth and sin no more. So gradually, just like this karma, whatever we sow, so shall you reap. Once we surrender to God sincerely, and these kind of crises perhaps will make us more sincere and more thoughtful, to realize that we are really at the mercy of the elements here in the material world. And we do need assistance from the Supreme Power to get out of here. So we have to bow down with all sincerity. Pledge to go forth and sin no more. And then that karma, those reactions to our past actions in other lives and this life, is the same as pulling the plug out from a fan. Pull out the plug. And as long as we don't continue sinning or breaking the laws of God, those blades will gradually slow down. And we become free from all those reactions. Thank you very much.